Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics. We got ourselves a package back from EGS, so it's time for our second first impression. Let's take a look. Alright, so earlier we did the first new impression of the new EGS slabs on a slab that they sent me, and it had some damage in shipping, but otherwise we were able to get a good first impression of slab. Now, I then turned around and I think I had already sent in a couple books to them because I wanted to try the service from scratch to go to kind of update my whole overall experience. So from that aspect, that's what we're all about here today. These are the the books I sent in. Now, sending in a submission, pretty straightforward. We're able to go to the EGS website and then fill out the pricing's there. I was able to fill out their form, and you can fill out their form online and submit it, and it goes directly to them. And then I usually print it out as well, including my books, pack them up, send them off. Once the books got there, I did receive an email promptly from the owner. Let me know, hey, Tony, he goes, got your books. They're in queue. Should have them for you. Gave me an ETA. Perfect. The ETA right now is sitting at about 30 days, a little bit over a month. I think it was like 33 days. I got an email saying your book's on your way back to you. Easy peasy. Good turnaround time. I did actually send these books to be pressed at my presser, the roguetrader.com, where you can use the code FATSTAX. If you want to check him out, just go to theroguetraderutah.com, grab one of the pressing packages, including he has pre-bundled packages that are discounted. You can then use the code FATSTAX, get 20% off of that, and then at checkout so you can get a good deal on that. And then every time that code is used, he donates $10 to Comics Curing Cancer with the American Cancer Society. So it's a win-win. And then he was able to forward the books on to EGS for me. Now EGS shipping them back, they're using Slab shipper styrofoam component system, which is meant to help hold the books in place. Now I've tried these myself. I have a whole bunch of them. I used them during C3, and here's what I'm noticing. Right, so the books themselves are supposed to fit in these grooves and be held in place throughout shipping, and for the most part it does work. But I am seeing they don't fit perfectly in here. And so the books do pop out a little bit. Now this is the first time I've seen it with 3, so that's really kind of cool. And then there's been a couple times where I've seen it with just 1 where it was all over the place. So anyways, we'll see. So I pull these out here. Okay. And then we got some, looks like he put a little bit extra cardboard armor on the outside edges of the box to help protect it. And then, yeah, I was looking to see if there was nothing special, a little extra armor to protect it. So that's good. Okay, so what I sent in was 2 books, 2 Acts of Helena books from IRF Authentics, their IRF Authentics things, and I sent in 1 facsimile for Detective Comics. So let's take a look first here. Let me pull. Wow, that's not good. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is the case. Oh, now it thinks it's. Maybe it's stopped now. Okay. Now it seems to have stopped. So that's good. Okay, whatever it was, obviously my playing with it has resolved the issue. But so this is Detective Comics number 27. This is the facsimile. Now, I did have these done with custom labels. So this is the custom label here that I had. They put it in with the red and yellow to match the red and yellow here, and then they added a little bat symbol there. Came back in 9.6, which actually really surprises me. Well, let's look at the grader's notes. Grader's notes are included with each one here on the certificate. Corner scuff, top and bottom left corner. Light spine stress, front corner. Front cover. Oh, I do see a spine. Oh, wow. If it wasn't for that. So there's little stress things at the scuffs at the corners. This is the normal bindery issue. And this probably would have been fine to get it a 9.8. But there is right here, and I don't think it's going to come, I don't know if it's going to come up very well, but there's a little ding in the spine that either I missed or something happened in shipping and everything else, whatever. It's just enough that gives it down to a 9.6. So that's unfortunate because really on a facsimile like this, you really want a 9.8. But hey, it was more about testing this out to get this. What does this look like with this custom label? Pretty cool. The only drawback now is I'm going to think with that yellow label is I'm going to think that it's like a signature series, but otherwise, so the slab, I mean, it was making that noise at first. It's not making that noise anymore, so that is good. Otherwise, again, it feels really solid. So I've talked about this previously. They're doing the sealed inner well. The label and the comic book are sealed inside the well, and then they're using a two-piece that comes together now, and it's anchored at 6 points. 3 along each of the sides, and then there looks like there's a little bit of an adhesive or epoxy or something that's put in along the edge there to seal it, help seal it up. I don't see any evidence as the first go round, and we'll check these other ones as we go, but on the first sample I had, it was like a little bit too much was done and it kind of oozed out. I don't see that at all here. No evidence. It definitely looks really clean. We do have our label on top letting us know what the book is. So when we put it in our box, we're good to go. Yeah, this is really clean. No marks or no Newton rings or anything. If I want to be extremely critical, right? Obviously, part of me still. Oh, there we go. Now I can get it again. It's this is popping. It's not. There's a little bit of a gap seal or something here. There's a little bit of dead open space. Now I think that's just the way that this design is, because this is similar to the PGX slab, but I mean that's all I can get out of it. That's pretty darn good. The label is my biggest drawback if I'm being super critical. Only in that, and I don't know how it's going to come up here, but it looks like it's fallen back a little bit. It's not quite aligned perfectly. I can't. This edge here is right up against the front, and this edge has fallen backwards. So the label's doesn't seem to be in there flat, which actually makes me. It doesn't even look, to be honest, it doesn't look like that label is sealed in the inner well. I know I asked him about that, and he said it is. Well, anyways, maybe one day we'll crack one of these for fun, and we'll see, huh? All right, next book up. Let's see what we got here. This is Acts of Helena, 9.9. Wow, there we go. And this is Fat Cat Funnies. And again, here you can see this label. I'm going to take this out of this bag. This is the only real kind of downer to it. This label, again, you can see here how it sags back as I tilt this back a little bit. It's just nuts. There we go again. And I'm hearing the slab as I pulled it out, it crunched. It made a popping sound together. Um, then it seems to be okay. So, I mean, I have to pull it apart a little bit, and you can hear it click together. So it's like it just doesn't quite seal perfectly together. Um, but I think that's meant to be that way. All right. So, anyways, I'm hearing it every time I handle it, and it's just making it sound weak. Um, and again, I'm going to be super critical. The book is not centered left to right. There's a bigger gap over here from the edge as there is over here. And that's one of the things like, oh, okay, well, you can do this. Let me go to this, and there we go. Now we've got it centered. That's just the nature of this kind of inner well beast, the way this type of inner well is. Um, Eventually, Tony wants to upgrade again, but this is, it's, there's a cost that's associated with some of these different designs for these things, and this is one of those things. This is a big improvement over the slab it yourself kits he was using, but obviously not where he wants to be at the end all. So this is the EGS signature series. So we're going to get here. We have the signature series here. It's yellow label. What is interesting on this to me is I could have sworn I did request a custom label, but the custom label that they gave me was simply just putting an axe on there. Nothing from a color or design standpoint. I don't know if I have to be more specific. That'll be something I have to follow up with Tony on. But it is a signed book, so it does have their label that they're sealed. That it's EGS signature series. They verified. See, it says signed by Ian Chase Nichols. So it just says signed by. I'm assuming that that's, 'cause obviously I know that I had it signed ahead of time. So this is a verified signature. I don't know if they tell a difference between verified and, or indicate any difference between verified and witnessed. But that's what we got. So this is the customer appreciation exclusive. And it's obviously it's an homage to Thor 337. So what we mean by customer exclusive, appreciation exclusive, this was put out a variant cover that was done for IRF Authentics, and IRF Authentics put the names of the various YouTubers and whatnot who subscribe, or Instagrammers who have purchased books or purchased their mystery boxes within a certain period of time, and depending upon the number that you have done, the size of your name. And up here we have right there at Robs.fatstax, no comics, which of course is my older IG name, but that's still me. So that's awesome. Cool, 9.9. So this one, even with a 9.9, let's take a look here. We have our grader's notes on here. Slight scuff, bottom left corner, front cover. Tony is being, he is a super critical eye, and there's no doubt about that, because I don't know I guess, okay. If I look at it from the backside, I see the very bottom corner. Oh, he says front cover, bottom left. I mean, the slightest bit of it where it's not quite square, perhaps. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. But hey, dude, you want somebody with a critical eye. I don't want everything to just get handed to me in a 9.9. Although, all right, last book. Last book here. This is another Axel Helena. This is the regular IRF Optics exclusive. So they were the previous one. There were only 25 of those, I believe it was, and this one there was 100. And I'm hearing, I'm feeling especially this bottom. As I'm feeling this case, I'm feeling it a little bit. And again, it's not that big of a deal, because it's still way better than the other, but it does kind of make you feel like I could just I could pop it apart. I mean, I can kind of gap it, which is it's just not really glued together. It's just at these posts. You could work it probably free if you wanted to. Anyways, all right. So this one is the color version. Here we have a 9.8. Again, it's a signature, so we get the shiny label. It's again signed by Ian Chase Nichols. This is exclusive, so this is the regular exclusive print run on the back. Fat Cat Funnies for mature readers only, and our grader's notes on this one: small scratch line on the back cover. I see this slab. It's hard to say. I'm seeing more things from the actual shell than I am of the book. And I'm not sure if this is what he's talking about. I'm seeing there's a little, yeah, I don't know if that's what he's talking about or not. But 9.8. But that's what you get. So you're going to get grader's notes for everything. I did not have this issue with the first book we got, where I felt this bit with the shell apart. Again, it's more of just an annoyance. I mean, it's not like it's nothing like a PGX. These extra tabs that it has here on the side really help to hold this middle part together, and that's where the PGX slab that uses the same basic design really has its failing, is that it's such a long gap between anchor points that this really feels like it's coming apart. So on this book here, this is really the longest gap that we have, and that's where I'm feeling it and hearing it most of the time, is at this bottom. It's not a big deal. It is, I mean, it just is, but it's just one of those things that if you're, as I'm doing it, I'm just constantly feeling or hearing it click every time I'm handling the slab, which is a little disappointing. And again, here as I'm looking at this label now is falling forward, and I don't know if I can, yeah, you can kind of see, it's just kind of, you can see in here the way it's just kind of loose. This bottom's draped back here. This looks like it's just loose inside there, except that it doesn't flop around. So I'm not sure what's going on with that label. It does not look like it's in the inner well. Maybe it is. I can't, as I'm looking in there trying to see, maybe there's some well material that it's in. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Actually, no, it is. Okay, as I'm looking at it through here, I do see the inner well extend up in there, but it's just that inner well is not rigid or something in there, as there's like, I don't know what it is. But so it's in all these, there's some place where it's just not flat. It's not rigid enough to hold it straight. So it just, again, improvement over where it was. But nobody, I don't even think Tony would tell you, hey, these slabs are on par with CGC and CBCS. No, he admitted that they're not where he wants them to be. He wants to get to another level. But again, you have to take steps as you're growing your business in order, because you have to have a certain amount of volume in order to afford the certain things at a price that makes it reasonable. So, this is a good first step in improvements. It's definitely not the number one or number two slab from a feel, look, or anything else on it, but it is because it's basically the same as the PGX from what I can tell you in my experience. The difference being these extra points of connection, that is significantly makes it feel sturdier. This plastic actually feels like it's a thicker plastic too. It does feel nice and solid from a thickness standpoint. It's just the edges. this end here where it just has this kind of give stuff that you'd love for it to be super solid, um, and it's not. But that's nitpicking. I mean, I want to say I'm nitpicking. I don't know. Some people, this might be a deal breaker. For me, I feel like it's a little bit of nitpicky. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the book is sealed inside the inner well and protected inside the hard case, which does have a UV protection as well. How much UV protection I do not know. It's not hasn't been specified, but it does have some UV protection, so that's always a good thing too. Um, yeah. All right. Well, so there's my first impression. Overall, the experience of sending in books super easy, phenomenal. Customer service is definitely there. I'll tell you, I've talked to Tony several times via email, through Instagram, whatever, and he's always been super friendly, very responsive, happy to have conversations. Grading, it's not an easy grade. Look, if you want to get an easy grade, you're not going to don't go to EGS. Um, Tony has said that he follows the Overstreet Guide. That's it, not his own version of it, nothing else. So that means that you can go, if you know the Overstreet Guide, then you can grade your books. You can know what you're going to get to expect. When we send our books into CVCS or CGC, they seem to have their variation on the Overstreet Guide, which so you never really know 100% what you're going to get. Um, but definitely, I think the grading is very. Um, I think grading's great. He's transparent. He's told you what his system is. Every single book, even the 9.9, came with grader's notes telling us what the defects are with the book. If I was a nitpicker, again, there'd be a way for me to online look up these grader's notes as opposed to having to keep these paper certificates. But I'll enter these into my database and stuff on that. Maybe down the line he's going to have a searchable database. I don't know what his long-term plans are. That'll be a good question for us down the road if I get a chance to interview him. But, you know, the point is we get the grader's notes. Transparency is there. You know what you're getting. You know, I'll tell you, I am the first book I got when Tony sent me the free book to sample, I was blown away by the custom label. It was changing my opinion about playing Barbies with it. So much so that I was really kind of excited to send this book in, hoping to get the custom label with the red and yellow like the other, and had all these bats on it. Instead, I got a single bat. Um, doesn't really do it for me. It's not as exciting. Is it kind of cool? Sure. I mean, red and yellow matches, but at the end of the day, it's eh. And in these ones, which I paid extra money for a custom label, I didn't have a lot of communication with them. I just kind of left it up to them. What I got was a little axe put on there. That's it. That's really disappointing for the added expense that I paid for that custom label. If I had known that's what they were going to do, I wouldn't have done it. So, really kind of disappointed with that. But I don't know. There you guys. I think the custom label game, really, guys, is going to be up to you to decide on how you want to do it. And probably you need to have a lot more communication with them about what you want to get from that, rather than what I did, which was basically just say, yeah, give me a custom label, and uh, really not a lot of direction to it. But in my defense, their website exactly doesn't have a ton of information either. So, you know, tomato, tomato. I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think down below? Am I being superly overly critical? Am I spot on? Am I being an apologist and telling you an EGS apologist all of a sudden? I don't know. You guys let me know. And until next time, collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including myself. So I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.